Beat, happy stars, timing with things below. Beat with my heart, more blessed than heart can tell.
Few television series capture the essence of Gothic horror as effectively as Penny Dreadful. Created by John Logan, this Showtime series masterfully blends horror, romance, and existential dread, breathing new life into iconic literary figures from Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Picture of Dorian Gray. With its deeply psychological storytelling, haunting atmosphere, and poetic dialogue, Penny Dreadful is more than just a horror show. It's an exploration of the human condition, where monsters and mortals alike wrestle with their sins, desires, and doomed fates. At its heart, Penny Dreadful is a character-driven horror drama that examines the darkness within the human soul. The series follows Vanessa Ives, a woman tormented by supernatural forces, as she allies with Sir Malcolm Murray, Ethan Chandler, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and others to combat a variety of horrors, vampires, witches, demonic entities, and even themselves.
The night creatures will emerge, and then all light will end, and the world will live in darkness.
The show's storytelling thrives on layered themes, particularly sin and redemption, the nature of monstrosity, faith and damnation, and the intersection of sexuality and power. Many characters struggle with their past sins, seeking absolution yet rarely finding it. While supernatural creatures lurk in the shadows, the true horror often comes from human choices, Dr. Frankenstein's cold ambition, the cruelty of society, or the inescapable cycle of violence that plagues many of the characters. Vanessa's journey, in particular, is a deeply tragic one, as she battles both literal demons and her own sense of spiritual abandonment.
We were created to rule, and the blood of mankind will water our garden.
One of Penny Dreadful's greatest strengths is its visual and atmospheric presentation. Every frame is meticulously crafted to evoke the Gothic horror tradition. The cinematography leans heavily on chiaroscuro lighting, with flickering candles, dimly lit Victorian interiors, and misty London streets. This creates an unsettling, dreamlike atmosphere where darkness always seems to be encroaching. The production design is equally impressive, with lavish yet decaying sets that make the world feel rich and lived in. Dorian Gray's mansion, the opium dens, the grand estates, all these settings reflect the character's inner turmoil.
You have been chosen. You are unlike all others, and you have a profound destiny. Will you seize it?
Costume design also plays a vital role, symbolizing character arcs. Vanessa's mourning attire, for instance, represents her perpetual state of grief, while Lily Frankenstein's increasingly elaborate wardrobe mirrors her growing thirst for power and revenge. Unlike many horror series that rely on cheap scares, Penny Dreadful builds its terror through psychological dread, existential horror, and eerie supernatural encounters. Vanessa's struggles with possession and demonic forces are some of the most terrifying aspects of the series, particularly her seances and confrontations with dark entities. Dr. Victor Frankenstein's storyline is equally haunting, with his creations representing the pain of abandonment, revenge, and the consequences of playing God. Season 2 introduces witches, arguably the show's most terrifying villains, who use psychological warfare as much as physical horror. The vampires in Season 1 are less romanticized than traditional depictions, appearing more monstrous and otherworldly. Instead of excessive gore, the series relies on slow-burning tension, unsettling imagery, and poetic horror to create an atmosphere of unease.
You've a light step, miss. Or is it ma'am?
Miss Vanessa Ives. Come this way, won't you?
The writing in Penny Dreadful is highly literary, often feeling more like a Gothic novel than a conventional television script. Dialogue is rich with poetic language, making every conversation feel theatrical and layered with meaning. The characters speak in a way that feels timeless, blending period accuracy with grand, philosophical musings. However, the show's pacing is not without flaws. The first 2 seasons are masterfully structured, gradually unfolding the narrative while developing the characters' emotional and supernatural struggles. Season 2, in particular, is widely regarded as the strongest, introducing the witches as formidable antagonists and deepening Vanessa's battle with darkness. Unfortunately, Season 3 struggles with fragmented storytelling. Several key characters are given separate storylines that never fully converge, leading to an uneven and rushed conclusion. The finale, while emotionally resonant, leaves many arcs feeling incomplete. The abrupt ending of Penny Dreadful remains controversial. While Vanessa's tragic fate is in keeping with the Gothic tradition, many fans felt that certain character arcs, particularly Ethan's and the creatures, deserved more closure. The rushed nature of Season 3 left lingering questions, and while Penny Dreadful, City of Angels was billed as a spiritual successor, it failed to capture the same magic. Yet, despite its imperfect conclusion, Penny Dreadful remains one of the most ambitious and beautifully crafted horror series ever made. Its commitment to Gothic horror, psychological depth, and poetic storytelling ensures that it stands apart from other genre shows.
But it shall not be so. Let all be well. Be well.
Ultimately, Penny Dreadful is a Gothic horror masterpiece that blends supernatural terror with deeply human struggles. It is not just a horror series but an exploration of faith, monstrosity, and existential despair. Despite its flaws, particularly in its final season, it remains a unique and haunting experience that lingers long after the credits roll.
Do you believe there is a demi-monde, Mr. Chandler? A half-world between what we know and what we fear?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps the channel and lets us keep bringing you more spooky content.